Although the Yankees were able to salvage a game in this series was still extremely frustrating for a multitude of reasons. What's going on, guys? It's the King of 161st Street. I'm back with another video, and I'm not really going to break down certain games. I'm going to break down certain talking points because there are a lot that came out of this series. Let's start off with a guy that I have defended. There's literally a video from the latter stages of the offseason on this channel named Anthony Volpe is not a bust. I have been someone who has not been thoroughly disappointed with what Anthony Volpe has provided since he's come up. I think the expectations for him were set way too high, partially made by the organization, but partially unrealistic expectations from fans. This is where I have a problem with him today. He started off the year fantastically, hitting for power. He was one of the main guys who was at the forefront of people saying ban the torpedo bats, because look at Anthony Volpe. He's able to hit the ball hard. Everyone will be able to hit the ball hard. Ever since then, there has been a consistent theme with Anthony Volpe at bats. He cannot hit the fastball. And this has been a huge talking point ever since Tampa. In Tampa, they did it, and now they're starting to come at him time and time and time again. But not even just that. The fact that he is struggling so much with fastballs, pitchers are now starting to play with him. He's starting to become one of those batters where pitchers just try shit. You'll see pitchers throwing in righty-righty changeups like it's... So what are they doing? They're dropping in that changeup. He swings right through it. And then they go right back with a high fastball. He swings underneath it. They start going with the fastball and then throw him a high slider behind it. Then blind him with a fastball up and in. And he has not found a way to adjust. This is the one time where I think this is a huge problem. I think once he started to taper off after his early fast start, I thought that was just an expected sort of course correction. Of course, he was never going to hit 350 and go for 40 bombs like he was projected to at some point. But I felt like that course correction was going to be there. But now it's starting to look like he's becoming lost. He's forgotten how to hit. One of the main things that teams look for before they call a player up: can you hit major league fastball? Can you hit a fastball at a consistent level? The fact that right now Anthony Volpe is getting beaten, and not just beaten, he's getting played with because he can't touch a fastball, is a problem. Should the Yankees move him down in the lineup? I'm not 100% sure. They may have to start separating him and Jazz, because Jazz has been struggling as well. We'll get to him in a second, but this is a major issue that hopefully the off day on Thursday, Anthony Volpe is in the lab looking at fastballs, trying to catch up, looking at the next series, looking at everyone's fastballs that he's going to face, and he is trying to rectify the situation, because I don't know where any more consistency comes from. He can't touch a fastball, and this could be overreactions in the other direction. I get that, but this series was very concerning for Anthony Volpe. Another guy that a lot of people are concerned with, I'm not as much, is Jazz Chisholm Jr. Look, has Jazz struggled since his opening week? Yes. To me, he seems like he's just a little off timing. You see it in certain swings. You saw it with the home run. That home run, he was on point. And when he's on point with his timing, he's able to do that. Last game of the series, he was able to dunk in a base hit. He's able to get multiple walks. Hopefully that game gets him going. And I get it. He has had some horrific swings. I think part of that is him pressing, trying too hard to get out of the slump. I'm hoping that taking those walks that he did, getting that base hit at the end, hopefully that sort of course corrected whatever possible mechanical issue caused his lack of timing. He's also been productive. He's still tied for fourth in home runs. He's still, even with a 164 batting average or whatever he's at now, he's still at near an average player in terms of WRC plus. That's why I'm not totally concerned with this, because you know this is just a blip on the radar. He's going to start getting it going soon. This all started the cold weather that he was not able to adjust with, and that's kind of carried over. Hopefully now that he's had time, weather has started to get better, and now his swing is starting to progressively get back to normal, he's able to then carry that over and consistently put bat to ball, because that's been his main issue. There's been too much swing and miss, too much 3 true outcome. He needs to be a guy who makes contact with the ball and gets on base, because even with the struggles he's had to get on base, he still has 7 stolen bases on the year. That's amazing. I'm not as concerned with Jazz. It's not something to just gloss over. He has been an issue. I don't think he's been overpowered by anything. The fact that Anthony Volpe has gone into every series now knowing what a pitcher's going to throw him, knowing what a pitcher's going to pitch off of, basically being given the cheat sheet of how people are going after him, and he still can't adjust, that's the problem. And that's what needs to be rectified. Now let's talk about some good in this series, and it's time for the annual stats from Aaron Judge that make you know he is the best right-handed hitter of all time. Aaron Judge has only hit 1 home run in his last 17 or 18 games, and yet has still raised his statistics to a .424 batting average and a .1273 OPS. I've said it before and I'm going to keep saying it. Never doubt Aaron Judge until he gives you a reason to. Aaron Judge has never given you a reason to doubt that he is going to be the best hitter year in and year out. He went 6 for 6 over games 2 and 3. Almost had a home run that was robbed by the high wall that would, but instead he was able to get a triple out of it. Then was able to get multiple singles. He's able to produce. He's probably the best hitter we've seen since Barry Bonds. I don't know if I'm being hyperbolic. I don't think so. Another good thing that came out of this series, Carlos Rodon in today's game, amazing once again. Has Carlos Rodon been bad in any start he's had so far? I don't think so. The problem is he usually finds a way to fuck it up. He always finds a way to screw it up one way or another. This is now back-to-back starts where he's able to go deep into the game without fucking it up. The big thing he's cut down on in those last 2 games, walks. Barely any walks over those last 2 games. In both of those games, he's given up 0 earned runs. The Guardians scored a run off of him in the first, but because of Bellinger's error and the fact that the runner stayed at third, and then once the ball got past him, then he went, it counted as an unearned run. Again, this is exactly what we need from Carlos Rodon. And the biggest thing we need him to avoid is to avoid the stupid risks. Avoid trying to get too cute with 2 strikes. And then when you have players on base, don't try and get too greedy by throwing a high fastball to try and get a strikeout. I get it. The fastball is playing up over the last 2 starts, and that has certainly helped. But at the same time, the fastball's still averaging 95. Major league hitters can hit that all day. Just avoid the stupid risk and avoid getting cute, and Carlos Rodon can be up there with some of the best starters in baseball. He's shown it this year. Even in the starts he's fucked up in, it's usually a couple walks that then turns into him throwing a very bad pitch, like the one to Jung-Hoo Lee, where he hits the 3-run homer and we lose that series. That's usually how a Carlos Rodon start goes. If he could avoid getting too cute and he could avoid throwing stupid pitches because he puts himself in a hole, Carlos Rodon will be the best number 2 in baseball, or at least close to it. Credit to Carlos Rodon for these last 2 starts. He's given the Yankees a huge boost, especially with the bullpen. Someone that I'm happy is able to still keep up what he left was Ben Rice. Ben Rice, after getting hit in the back elbow, was out for a couple games. He is now back in the lineup, and he hit an opposite field tank in his first game. That was a massive shot. He was getting on base time and time again. Ben Rice's development from year 1 to year 2 should be studied around baseball. That's how you grow over an offseason. Last year, when he came up, lit the world on fire. Then just kept striking out. The strikeout rate was high. Even though the chase rate wasn't too high, he was still striking out because of how loopy that swing was. And it doesn't even look like it's a major adjustment that he made. Just minor adjustments to get a little bit more square to the ball and more adjustments in mindset at the plate. And all of a sudden, Ben Rice has become the best leadoff hitter on this team outside of Paul Goldschmidt, who's also still raking, by the way. Ben Rice deepens this lineup so much because once Jazz comes back, which we know Jazz is going to step it up, hopefully a Bellinger bounce back, Austin Wells, who's now coming back from having food poisoning. These are guys who deepen this lineup and add a layer of protection. Even if they're not directly behind Aaron Judge, they add a layer of protection to Aaron Judge based off of them not wanting to challenge those guys. Although this series was extremely frustrating, we got a bad start from Clark Schmidt, who gave up a couple home runs. We wasted a Will Warren outing based off of some bad defense. We were still able to come out of here, only losing one game if you think about it in the grand scheme of the record. We only really dropped one game in the standings. We head back home to face Toronto. Hopefully we can gain some ground on them as we continue our hunt for an AL East crown and continue our hunt for another World Series championship. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below. If you're new here, hit that sub button, hit the notification bell, and click all so you never miss another recap. This is still a fun season, even with those frustrating games. Few things the team has to work on, but I still am believing that this team has what it takes. Hopefully you do too. Let me know down below your thoughts. I'm out of here. Take care and peace.